4 spot, John Carney and the Carney and Sons 86. Running 5th, now into 4th. Here comes Jerry Richard Jr. and that Bob Olson CPA, 81, into the number 5 spot. We're taking 6th to the A main. But your leader in that Morris Auto 14, Doran Doty. And denying a Booback, getting over hard in that first turn and between 1 and 2. We're green on the single file restart. It's Doran Doty. That Moose Magneto 14 running second. The Phillips Hardwood Floors 16L. Leonard Lee running third. Carney and Sons 86, John Carney running 4th. Bob Olson CPA 81 of Jerry Richard Jr. Running 5th in that Cornwell Tools 77, Danny Lasowski. Carney looking at Leonard Lee for the number 2 spot. John Carney moves into the number 2 spot through turns 1 and 2. We're taking the top 6 to the A main. Doran Doty and that All Seasons Mechanical 14 out in front. Running second, John Carney and a Carney and Sons 86. Running third in that Williamson's Tavern 16L is Leonard Lee. Running 4th, the Bob Olson CPA 81, Jerry Richard Jr. Running 5th in that Manheim Auction 77 is Danny Lasowski. Lasowski now closing in on Richard for the number 4 spot. Richard down low, slides up top. Lasowski was on the cushion, now cuts to the bottom. But Richard up to the challenge so far. Now Richard down low once again. Lasowski the high side. Be the white flag this time around. That Jerry's Auto Service 14 of Doran Doty. Checker flag taken away in that Advanced Draperies 14's Doran Doty. Running second, the Carney and Sons 86, John Carney.
Green flag. Sean Moore and Wayne Redmond. The 19 of Bob Weaves, 71 Manny Rockhold. And Chad Riddell in a 25, shoot through on the bottom. Manny Rockhold rolling all the way into second place. Sean Moore still your leader in that 2X car. Rockhold, Riddell, Redmond, Bob Weave, and Moyle. Jamie Moyle is the man on the bubble. The top 6 to transfer. Sean Moore setting sail in that Moore Motorsports racing machine. Riddell on the bottom of Manny Rockhold. Chad Riddell now running second. Rockhold third. Bob Weaves, Wayne Redmond, and Jamie Moyle. Moyle down on the bottom of Wayne Redmond, trying to move by and take over that 5th position. Sean Moore with a sizable lead. Chad Riddell running second. Sean Moore in that Moore Motorsports Well Maxim. Chad Riddell. Chad running a Schnee chassis. The race for that final transfer spot. Jameson and Wayne Redmond in a battle on the back end. White flag on this circuit. Sean Moore still holding the point. Being chased by Chad Riddell. Rockhold, Weave, Moyle, and Redmond. Moore under the scoreboard. heading off the turn down the front chute. Green and go. Beitler and Jamison into turn number 1. Riley, Smizer, and Schaefer. Steve Beitler setting sail in that Avenger chassis number 21. Jamison driving that Larry Ball Sr. American Challenge sprinter. Larry Ball Sr. from Des Moines, Iowa. So it's still Beitler, your leader. Jamison. Riley out of Watertown, South Dakota, running 3rd. Mark Smizer 4th, and Greg Schaefer in that 5th spot. Setting sail. The battle may be developing for that 2nd transfer spot, currently held by Ryan Jamison. Terry Riley trying to move that 69R Maxim up on his backside. Smizer still 4th, Schaefer running 5th. White flag on the 21 car. Steve Beitler. The cars forming up once again, getting ready to look for the green flag. 20 laps your distance. Mellenburn and Bob Weave to the white line. Let's go. Mellenburn on the bottom, Leonard Lee. The 19 car of Bob Weave, the 81 Jerry Richard Jr., Chad Riddell charging on the bottom in the 25 car. Kim Mock in the 7, your top 6 at this time. Chad Mellenburn, still your leader. Mellenburn, Bob Weave, Leonard Lee, Jerry Richard Jr., Chad Riddell. Mellenburn running a Stevenson chassis. Bob Weave off the pace in the 19. Leonard Lee now running in that 2nd spot. Chad Riddell running 3rd, Richard Jr. McCall running in the 7th spot. The dude running 8th currently. Chad Mellenburn hooked up and hauling on the cushion here at Knoxville. Down the front chute, under the flag stand. Chad Riddell running the bottom. Leonard Lee up on the top. Jerry Richard Jr. through the middle, back up to the top. McCall and Lasowski trying to move The Chad Mellenburn hooked up at Holland. Riddell, Richard Jr. underneath Leonard Lee, now running in that third position. Chad Riddell, the Sioux Falls boys running 1-2, the 97 and the 25. Riddell trying to narrow the gap on Chad Mellenburn. Leonard Lee, Kim Mock, John Carney, McCall trying to take a shot off the corner. The race for first. Mellenburn and Chad Riddell running 1-2. Chad Riddell has closed the gap as they battle down the back chute. Leonard Lee still running third. Terry McCall has battled into fifth. John Carney fighting him on the bottom. Mellenburn to halfway line from Doug Clark, halfway into the feature. The race still at the front. Mellenburn and Riddell. Jerry Richard Jr. moving in as well. A three-car battle shaping up at the top. Riddell on the bottom. Chad Riddell moves around Mellenburn to take over that first position. Jerry Richard Jr. in the hunt. Richard Jr. on the bottom. Coming through underneath. Riddell, Mellenburn, Jerry Richard Jr. into lap traffic. Richard Jr. now in the second. Riddell, Jerry Richard Jr. chasing him through on the bottom. The battle shaping up. Chad Riddell, Jerry Richard Jr. 12 laps down as the leaders move down the back chute into turn number 3. Richard Jr. little crossways, loses just a little bit of momentum as Chad Riddell still holding the advantage. Jerry Richard Jr. trying to move back in. McCall and Lasowski battling on back. It's still Riddell and Richard Jr. Side by side. Riddell with the momentum. Off two. Richard on the button down the back chute. Jerry Richard Jr. into the lead into turn 3. Jerry Richard Jr. down the front chute. Holding the advantage. Chad Riddell trying to stay with him. Riddell with a shot off the top, trying to pull in the 81 car of Richard Jr. Not this time. Mellenburn's third. Lasowski's fourth. Leonard Lee is fifth. Jerry Richard Jr. still your leader. Battling lap traffic down the back chute. 81 car shoots to the bottom. In behind the lap car of Riley. Up to the cushion. Off the cushion. To the bottom. Back to the top around the lap traffic. Jerry Richard Jr.
It's still Jerry Richard Jr. into turn 3, your leader. Chad Riddell, 25, running second. Lasowski now moves into the number 3 spot in that Cornwell 277. Your leader, though, now Bob Olson, CPA 81, Jerry Richard Jr. running third in that Able Auto Glass 25, Chad Riddell. Now here comes Lasowski, your race for the number 2 spot. White flag one more time for Richard. Your race for second. Riddell goes to the bottom, shuts the door. Lasowski now goes to top. A half a lap to go, but Jerry Richard Jr. looks like he's going to take the checker. It's Jerry Richard Jr. running second. Chad Riddell third. Danny Lasowski.
Well, they don't come a whole lot nicer than they do tonight. 20 straight laps, green, white, checkered, and one happy guy to be right here in victory lane, and that's Jerry Richard Jr. Jerry, You're climbing out of the car tonight, and heard you kind of say, we needed this one.
Yeah, we definitely needed it. We got one right off the bat this year, and we thought they'd come, not every week, but we thought they'd come a little more frequently. We've been struggling. We were